All right, we've got Portal installed here. It's a fresh blank state up and running as we did in a previous video. But before we can connect an agent to it to be able to manage the backups for that server, we actually have to create a site and a user. So we're going to log in here with the super account and the new password that we added in the other video. And it brings us here to the sites list as a default. Now we don't have anything in here yet. So on the left side, there's a create new site button. And here we have the dropdown for any parent sites. It is possible to have parent-child site relationships in Portal, but being this is the first one, it would be a parent site. And our fictional company here is just company.com. So I'm just going to name this site name company. And the account number here is used for other various features of different software packages in the product. And we're not going to enter in an account number for a basic site being created here. The allow child sites is what I was talking about, where you could have this particular site manage other sites. And that could be anything inside of company.com if you had hr.company.com or sanfrancisco.company.com, something like that, where you can have multiple child sites divvied out to different levels of system administrators. And then once that's checked, then you have the option to checkmark the allow admins to create those other child sites. But for what we're working with here, we're just creating a basic site, and of course we don't want it to be disabled. The contact information doesn't actually need to be filled out here, but depending on how you manage everything, especially if you're an MSP and you're looking to be able to have a one-stop shop for where you've got some of this documentation to reach out to someone, especially if you're having to handle a particular restore item or backup item that's critical, you can just jump to the sites list real quick, find that contact information for the on-site person, make a phone call, etc. And that's it. Basically, just the company name needs to go in there, though, to get started. So I'm going to hit Save Site. There it is. I can click anywhere on this bar. I don't have to click on the arrow pointing downwards on the right side. So I'll just click right in the middle there, and it brings back up the same information we were looking at before, but with some additional tabs. We also have the company ID down here, which can be used, again, with some other integrated products that we're not going to go over. But before we can actually use the site, we need to create a user. And as you can see here, no users. So I'll click the Create New User button, and let's give this a username. Now, if you are going to integrate any of the two-factor authentication or password reset functionality at some point in the future, you're going to want to use a real email address. But it doesn't have to be. So let's create a user at company.com. User, and we'll just call it user. Now there's various roles that you can assign a particular user, and in the user guide, they go over what those particular functions are. But for being able to get servers registered, and especially on a simple site, we're just going to go with an admin. And we're going to assign a password here. And if this is for another user, we can absolutely have them change that password when they log on. Good security practices there. And that's it. We've got our user all set up there. Now, one thing that I will touch base on here is the Vault profiles. This is very handy for setting up multiple servers if you're going to be registering a bunch of them in the environment of your data center. You can add a new profile here and put in all of the Vault information into a Vault profile. And a step that you'll see later on in the agent registration video is the drop down to be able to utilize this information. And you can just click on that profile real quick and off you go. For right now, though, we're not going to be adding any profile information for this video. You can add security preferences for this particular site. I'm going to do an inheritance for it. And that way I get this nice long session timeout here, and I'm not getting kicked out regularly from the portal site. I like to have that one much higher than the default of the 20. And of course, there are some other visual customizations. You can set a custom image for when they get logged on, etc., and that shows up in that top left. And then we have our site features for email notifications and data usage. And we're just going to leave those as default. So for now, I'm just going to log out of the super account. And we have user@company.com. And now that we're logged in with this user, you can see we have a little bit different of a view here. This what's new center area can be customized for a particular portal instance. For example, I know there are some where they'll put the downloads for the latest agent version as a direct link here. And we also have some notification information for the what's new, the status feed, and all of these sections on the left here that you can take a look at for how best you want to manage your particular portal instance. And right now we don't have anything registered, and we'll get that here in another upcoming video soon. Pretty simple, straightforward, and we'll catch you in another video for getting an agent registered here.